Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Sorry, I'm a little late today because I updated my BIOS yesterday. Oh, now what? Well, that's no good. Anyways, I reset my BIOS yesterday, and apparently that changes your machine name. So all of your software kind of relies on the machine name. So it's all complaining. And that was just a day trader telling me that even though it accepted my license, it tried to send it to the server and unsuccessfully. And well, I can see this one over here. It did work. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyways, it's weird. Anyways, it's working now, so real cool. So let's look at the charts here. It looks like we continued a little bit further yesterday, and into the night, and now they're looking to take their positions off. So I'm gonna have to be extra cautious here because this could swing around a lot. And my question is, was this big thing up here, where was it? It was like right here. Yeah, 07065. Was that a rate lock? That's the question. Or maybe not even there. Was it, man, where was it? We just like blew through that area. I think it was right here. So anyways, I'm kind of wondering if there might be a, some sort of a retracement here today, and how this affects the auction. So I'm extra cautious. I might not take as many trades as I normally do. I'm also super hungry, and I haven't eaten yet because I was dealing with that technical issue, so I'm going to eat.
ETH said short 09. ETH said ZB. Tucker said short 260. Really small opening range so far.
So while I am eating here, I am seeing some comments. So I see here Anthony Monterat says, sounds like your prediction is happening. I saw and shared your prediction of Bitcoin Cash and bought, of course, some too. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if I agree that it's happening yet. So we're kind of came to a point in this triangle, and it does look like we're moving up, but I'm not gonna get too excited until we get to maybe like 28. I would say that the action that we're seeing though is positive. You notice here that the volume is just dropped off. Like we're literally at like the bottom of where just people using Bitcoin Cash creates this price. Like I'm not going to say it couldn't go any lower because there could always be some extrinsic factor that comes in and pushes it lower, but this is like support, you know? So I feel really good about the spot, but it doesn't look like it's quite taken off yet. In fact, the one that's taking off is the Ethereum, right? Whee! Though we did have a little bit of a downturn at the end of yesterday. So there's that. I'm wondering if what's going to happen is they were pumping Ethereum, and if they switch over to Bitcoin Cash, it's possible. Okay, well that's interesting. Anyways, the trade looks okay, but we're not out of the woods yet, so don't get too comfortable, Anthony. And there is still a possibility, as I said. Oh, that's that. Why am I doing that one? Well, anyways, there is still a possibility that we go a little bit lower, but that wouldn't concern me. two steps lower, and then I would puke, but one step lower, it's all part of the plan.
Tucker said added 255. Tremendous sells a couple minutes ago. Tucker said bidding 245 and 240 to cover. Tucker said I love seeing that 6,800 absorption if it holds, that is. Tucker said gives a great line in sand for risk control.
Did you see the latest news about Novogratz? Novogratz Bitcoin Merchant Bank. You know, I've heard that name before, but I did not see that particular piece of news. Let's search, or let's just go to the Bitcoins, the subreddits. Since I haven't really looked, I'm still eating, I'm like super behind. Oop. Nothing there. Oh, this is the guy that invested a ton in Bitcoin? What did he say? Did he say he likes Bitcoin Cash or something? Mike Novogratz wants to build the Goldman of crypto and list it in Canada. Is that what you're talking about? He is launching a cryptocurrency bank. Yeah. Enjoy food. I don't have very good food this morning. I don't have any sausages left. Or bacon. I just have this muffin. I'm a little disappointed, actually. But I'm gonna finish gobbling this down so we can focus. Well, there you go. That one held. The 255, 25 half rather. Now 2 ticks lower. Boom, boom. Wow.
Tucker said filled 245 for 1. Tucker said waiting for 240 for the last. Tucker said come on you goddamn sob fill me. ETH said also went short 04 in UB. Trying to get filled here in ZB and UB. Tucker said all I need is some fool to drop 1000 on the bids to get my fill. Is that too much to ask lol? ETH said out plus 5 UB. ETH said out plus 4 ZB. Tucker said flat 245. Tucker said 12K absorbed by buyers at 245. Heads up shorts. ETH said val at 29 in UB. Could see a bounce.
block sell.
Tucker said, remember our range so far is only 7 ticks in ZN. Statistically speaking, this is not abnormally large.
Okay, now I'm done stuffing my face. Oh, okay, so because somebody wants to get in. Anyways, we did see Tyler sell 24 there. Now for the past.
Cedric said hi everyone.
There we go. Let's add him in. Okay. So Tyler sold 24 even, but we're only 4 ticks above the low. So I'm a little bit weary about taking that trade, even though Tyler has been pretty reliable this past week or so. I'm still a little concerned about that 10K that we saw absorbed there. Him going short just below that is odd. He may get pushed out. We are still the last
Cedric
pivot.
said hi everyone.
The last pivot was 23.
Cedric said thanks for adding me, Seth. Tucker said hey Cedric.
Absorb on the bid right here. Anthony just arrived in New York City last night on my way to breakfast. What are you doing in New York City? Are you gonna go and lick the bull's balls? You have to go and perform fellatio on the bull at the very least. It's a good luck. But remember, being superstitious is bad luck, so. Okay. They fight it out right here. Man, taking a position here, 2 ticks, 3 ticks above the low of the overnight session
LOL.
is not a trade I want to be making. Man. This is I've never seen such aggressive selling. I mean, yesterday, this action that we saw yesterday, where like 100,000, however much it was absorbed, icebergs on the bid absorbed at one point, and then they went through them, and it just kept going and going and going, and they kept fighting it, and it just went and went. I've seen that before on the buy side before. I can't remember what day it is, but I think it's in the archive. I've never seen it on selling. But for them to do that yesterday and then come out today and continue to be selling as aggressively as they are at this moment is incredibly odd. And the buyers are trying to hold it. And there is an auction today, which normally would keep us a little bit more range bound. So I really don't have no clue how to trade this day. Although I would say when we felled 25 half, probably could have taken 2 to 4 ticks somewhere around there. Which I think Tucker took, right? So good job there, Tucker. Oh, same job like your wife. Well, I see. So works in the airline industry. And I really need to take advantage of that because
Tucker said, damn. Look at the back and forth around 240.
Yeah, exactly.
Couple of big boys battling it out.
Because my wife is a flight attendant, I get like these flight benefits and can basically fly anywhere I want for free, and I never use it. And I'm like, there should be like some way for me to like make money off of the ability to fly anywhere for free, and I just can't even think up of what that would be. It's like the dumbest thing. It's like, oh, I have this great power that I'm sure lots of people would love to have, and I don't use it. What's this? Oh. Cool. On Twitch, we have met all of their, what is it? Streaming numbers in terms of like frequency and number of hours and so forth. We've blown all of those out. But the path to affiliate and partner, you have to have people actually watching, and we still only have maybe one person at a time. I'm doing good on YouTube, though. Maybe I should start giving you guys all the Twitch link instead. And make you watch on Twitch.
Tucker said I'd be really looking on the short side if not for the order flow. The two-sided trade is interesting. I wonder if somebody is loading up for a big short down to 122 to 160. Awadil said GM.
We're gonna copy the Twitch stream URL. Here you go. Watch on Twitch, guys. We get some if we get 3 average viewers on Twitch, then that helps us. You could meet people with who you are doing okay. That's what I wanted to see. The sell was at 240. Now they are buying at 245. I don't know if that was him puking or what. Okay, I got filled at 25. I'm going to be extra cautious because we are trading against the trend. We're buying under the VWAP.
Tucker said look how balanced the profile is down here. 80k at 260, 76k at 255, 85k at 245, 83k at 240.
I would say that the overall profile, when you look at it, is very much looks like absorption down here at the bottom. And you can see that 24.5 has a solid 4,500 on the bid. So they will almost certainly try and buy out everything at 25 and push it up another level. Especially if ZF continues to pop up there. Yes, sir. Let's get that 17 quarter stacked up a little bit, guys. Come on. Come on, 1,000. I actually noticed that since I reset it, oh, I guess when I reset it, it only reset the 10-year. So I guess I'm wrong. I guess I should just reset it right here. About that. Okay. Anyways, I have thought on, if they have conventions or anything that I would definitely try and go. But the only one I ever saw was the one in Las Vegas, and I kind of found out about it way too late. Okay. So they attacked 24.5 and the buyers defended it successfully. Are they going to throw another salvo down there?
Dominic said LOL, screen traders fighting it out. Smiling
Yeah.
face with open mouth. ETH said sellers defended 08 ZB. Big sell there earlier.
Was that where we stopped? Yeah. I would say, though, overall, even though we just came off of a very, very short-term downtrend, the trend overall since basically 350 my time has been up. Look at the chart here. So higher low. Now we hit that same level, 23.5. And here, higher high. So my bias, that's why my bias is to the upside. To maybe the VWAP. Plus you saw the sellers really try and push down here at 24 and fail. And then you saw aggressive buying there. And that aggressive buying so far is winning. I'm gonna get past 26.
Alligator said around VWAP.
Yeah, I wonder why it's why the
Tucker said I don't think it's screen boys. I think it's 2 to 4 large guys who really want to get positioned in either direction here. Maybe Goldman is buying and XYZ hedge fund is selling, smiling face with open mouth.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the steepener trader and the guys that are going for the interest rates. So let me rephrase this. There was a story we posted a couple of days ago. I'd have to go back onto Zero Hedge and find it, but like a week or two ago, I think it was in December, some trader put in a steepener trade based off of the rumor that in Europe, they were going to sell additional 30-year bonds. And so they started making a steepener trade. And then yesterday, Japan said that they were going to take the brakes off. And so that's why we see overall lower, even though you can see the knob spread is going up. So the outrights are going down, but we're steepening. So that's one trader. And then the other guy is somebody that has bids in for the auction way up here. I think that's what's happening. Well, that looks positive in ZB. That it come back up here to the 09. 08 was where Keith was saying the sellers defended.
Dominic said right, Tucker. Through their screens. Smiling face with open mouth LOL.
Although I would add that I also think that short-term battle is over. And now you are seeing people trying to reposition slowly. These guys that lost down here, maybe one got out, but they're not. They don't want to panic and just buy 25 half. They're hoping that they can get filled. It's gonna chop around here a little bit, and then they're gonna get up to this 26 and just punch it.
Tucker said, oh haha, gotcha Dominic. Yeah, the huge volume down here without definitive price direction is a bit infuriating. I'm trying to catch some directional scalp, not bunch of ping pong junk. Dominic said, you leaning towards a long position, Seth?
We'll see if I'm right. I could be wrong. Seller could always come back in.
Dominic said, interesting.
It also means 25 is an interest area. So it would have been better to be long 24 half, but that's okay. Oh, okay, so now we have 3 viewers on Twitch. Thank you guys. That's helpful. Do it, John Burr. What is I have no clue what that means.
Tucker said just checked my bank website. First link on the page, how risky is Bitcoin, schwab.com. Dominic said LOL.
They put that on the
Tucker
front
said,
page.
Can't believe this crap is still around.
That's so hilarious. So here's something I find really interesting about Bitcoin, okay? Something here, I'm going to meet you guys for a second, even though I see you're typing. Okay, so the way that I got into Bitcoin or into cryptocurrencies, the way that I built my position was primarily through mining. So I mined like 3,500 Sia coin, and then I said, okay, I think I have enough Sia coin. I kind of want Ethereum because I can see some cool stuff like CryptoKitties and so forth that I need some Ethereum, so I'm going to do some Ethereum. And then my Sia coin position blew up, got really big. It was worth like $360. So I took a little bit of it off and I distributed it to other coins, and I keep mining. Okay, so that's how I have my money in Bitcoins, quote unquote, right? For me to take those profits, I have to have an institution that is authorized to take, to trade in US dollars, which there's laws about that. You have to be regulated. And the only two that I really know of is Tether and Coinbase. And for me to do it on Coinbase, I had to give them my bank account, and they had to send me 2 transactions, and I had to verify those transactions, like the numbers, so that they knew that I actually got it and that it's my account. And then it took like a week for me to even get that. So like it was not easy for me to even get an account on Coinbase. And it's almost like Coinbase is like one of the few places that people are actually buying Bitcoins for dollars, right? So the point is, it is not easy. It is not easy to buy Bitcoin. And yet you got all this stuff happening. Isn't it something? HTV Network, good morning. How are you too? Well, it's just kind of sitting here back and forth again, although they did put a good offer up that time. Bitcoin does not. Oh, I minimized it. Bitcoin doesn't necessarily look too great this morning, but they're not really trading it at all, are they? The cumulative delta is flat. Not a lot of candles. So it only makes a new candle every 10 trades. Yes, in the US, there are only 3 options: Gemini, Coinbase, local Bitcoins. Local Bitcoins can get you robbed / killed. Does that mean like selling the Bitcoins for cash on Craigslist?
Tucker said, Seth, bingo. I can't believe the hoops that people jump through to buy into the most speculative and least liquid things on the planet. I'm a hardcore non-believer, but I wish the best.
And I just think that there's another fool born every day, and one of these days we're going to wake up with BTC at 5,000 and everybody is going to puke out, is what's the rest of what Tucker said. Yeah, well, so remember...
ETH said lot of back and forth, big volume.
Yeah. The way that I've been trading Bitcoins is based off of this indicator that I have, right? So what I'm noticing is that simply from people using the currency, regardless of whether it's to trade for things or to buy things, when you look at the amount of money that's moved between people on Bitcoin, on the blockchain, that creates a certain price in and of itself.
Tucker said, anyway, I'm out for the day. Good trading, everybody.
Hey, good job, Tucker. You did a good job. Tough trading day, and you already made some money. Anyways, that's my theory. Is this is like the floor, basically, and everything beyond that is all extrinsic value. Everything beyond that is basically people want to buy it because it's going up, because they think it's a good investment, and they think that, you know, more people are going to use it in the future. And that's why I've been trading them. That's how I picked Siacoin. Although I didn't have the indicator and I've never run the indicator on Siacoin, I knew based on the fact that they had a product that worked and that people were using it, that it was worth a lot more than what it was trading at. Same with Ethereum. Ethereum still at this moment appears to be undervalued, even though it's on a huge run and maybe has to stall or peter out here. Still massively undervalued. Bitcoin Cash appears to be slightly undervalued. That's the way that I've been trading it, not based off of, you know, I think that it's going to change the world or take over or anything like that. Does that make sense? Is it true that all the Wall Streeters are going to get their bonus checks on the 15th, and for some will run and buy cryptos? Anthony, probably not. And I'll tell you why. Two reasons. Number one, they don't all get their bonuses on the same day. In fact, they never tell you when the bonuses are going to come. It's a surprise. Usually it tends to happen around the same time, and you can look and see what day of the week was it last year that it was announced and they got it and things like that. Because when I worked for Goldman, that's what I would do is I would look and I would say, okay, last year they did it the third week of January or something like that. Okay, but they don't all do it on the same day. But then the second thing is, so when I worked for Goldman, anytime that I made an investment, it had to be pre-approved first, because you can't buy anything that Goldman has done business with or will do business with in the near future. You know, so like, say the example that I was using on Reddit last night was, say Goldman plans to do business with Ripple. I think they were saying that Goldman was going to make an investment in Ripple or something like that. Okay. And a bunch of employees already hold Ripple. That's a huge conflict of interest. And they're all about trying to avoid those conflicts of interest, because it costs them money when, you know, they get fined for stuff like that. And that you would be surprised how cautious the banks are. Like the rules and regulations are super, super strict. And then the banks, especially Goldman, always makes it that much more stricter than what the actual rule is. So basically, you can't take any position in anything until it's pre-approved. And then once you do, they have all of these rules about what you can do with it. Like you have to hold the position for at least a month to prevent you from doing any kind of short-term trading. And there are some kinds of assets that you're just straight up not allowed to do. You know, like you're not allowed to hold a Forex trading account. You're not allowed to hold a futures trading account. And it's the same with cryptos. I mean, like, it doesn't specifically say you are not allowed to own cryptocurrencies, individual employees, that is. But if you asked, it would get denied. And so if bank employees go out after they get their bonuses and buy cryptocurrencies, they're in violation of their bank's policy in almost every instance. That's why, like when they asked Jamie Dimon about it, he said, anybody that I catch trading this is going to get fired. And he wasn't saying that we're never going to have a desk or anything like that. He was just saying that employees, by company policy, are not allowed to trade cryptocurrencies. But it does appear that, yes, some of them are starting to make desks and so forth because there's the demand for it. But that's separate from what their employees are allowed to do. So I'm going to say no, I don't think that they're going to come in and buy on the 15th. And if this is now the second time that I've seen this. There was a video and they posted it to Reddit. If there's a lot of people out there that think that's going to happen, they're going to be disappointed. So watch out. See if a bunch of people are buying now and then the 16th comes and it doesn't go up and they get out. Even then, so to tell you something I've been noticing that's weird in the crypto space too. I have a Facebook group that I'm in that's for stock trading. Mostly just to keep an eye on what the sentiment is in the equities market, but they've been posting about cryptocurrencies a ton, so much so that people were banned and there had to be rules about cryptocurrencies. And there's this one guy that was posting about it incessantly, and on one hand it's like, well, he's excited and he just wants to talk to people about it, but it really looks to me like what he was saying and the pattern of when he would post and things like that he was like trying to actively pump Bitcoin. Like he was doing it because he wanted more people to see how much money he was making so that they would buy Bitcoin too and make the price go up. And I've noticed that he'll come out and he'll be like, okay, now I really like Litecoin. Now I really like Ripple. Now I really like Ethereum. And it's always like when he comes in and says something like that, it happens to be when that particular cryptocurrency is picking up the momentum. And I wonder if perhaps he is part of one of those pump and dump groups on Discord and Telegram and all of that, and that there is a pretty large group that has been pumping the large currencies, and that's what's causing some of these moves. I mean, I don't have any proof for that, but it sure fits the pattern, doesn't it? And especially since when a lot of these happen, you can see my indicator starts reading overbought. A group of traders intentionally pushing price up would be a good explanation as to why that happened. So the article from Business Insider is not really true then. Yeah, I think it's bullshit.
Like, Dominic seriously. Said, Seth, sorry to interrupt you. You were mentioning the algos earlier. I often wonder what it is that causes the delays between these swings throughout the trading sessions. Goes
up, algo, goes down, algo, and over again. Yeah, well, so there's just one, we're talking about one specific type of algorithm, which basically says if what is bid or offered is less than 500, then put market orders through to take out the rest and put a little bit more on in the hopes that it's going to catch a move, so those are the algos trying to find the edge. And there's kind of a pace to it. And you'll notice that if when that happens, if the algos don't take it after a while, then you'll see people will start to put stuff on, right? It'll tick up, it'll be 500, then it'll be, bid 500, and then it'll be offer 500, and then it doesn't go bid again. And then all of a sudden you see, after about 10 seconds or so, okay, now it's offer 1,000, now it's offer 2,000.
ETH said short 09. ETH said ZB.
I don't know if I like what I'm seeing right here. Well, they put the 3,000 up now, and they ticked down. And ZF ticked down too, and there was a red dot. 7,000. Oh, 7,000 sold it down at 17.75. Interesting. Yeah, well, so anyways, Dom, I think the thing is that if you are a big player and you're, okay, we're gonna get out, you're intentionally trying to push it one direction, you know? Like say we're in a range and you're buying. You might buy with limit orders down at the bottom, but you're not going to like waste all of your market orders down at the bottom of the range, right? Because then if you push it up, all you've done is made it go to the middle of the range. And then you have no fuel to push it out of the range at the top of it. So sometimes you will see when you have like yesterday before 2025 quarters was a good example. They were making a push down and they encountered significant resistance. So they traded back and forth until that resistance basically was completely into their position. And then they just let the algos trade it. And the algos just will take it in that zipper range back and forth. And then it wasn't until they got to the bottom of the range, and then all of a sudden you saw them come back in and go, okay, here's our opportunity. Market orders, sold everything at 25 quarters, sold everything at 6.
Dominic said right.
Or sorry, sold everything at 25, and then it was just all downhill from there. I'll tell you another example, something that you might see from time to time, although it's kind of hard to say if that's really what's happening. But let's say that you're a big bank and you're trying to push price up, okay? And you're trying to buy 325 quarters, what we have right now, but you don't have enough contracts. What you might do is you might sell some contracts at 25 and then buy some contracts at 25 half. Does that make sense? So you would intentionally take a one tick loss on something so that you can try and eat away some of those offers. I've seen that from time to time. Okay, well, they're absorbing a bit at 25 again. My bias is still up, but because we came down and I got out, I kind of want to sit and see it make it a little bit better of a move here first before, because otherwise I'm just gonna like scratch a bunch of trades. Well, the action in Bitcoin at the moment is not too positive, is it? Is that 1,000 lot selling it there?
Heath said listen to a couple of good interviews from John at Knobs last night. He interviews a couple of profitable traders that took his courses. After listening to these, it almost makes me want
to throw a couple thousand in an account and trade the 10-year.
Heath said youtube.com.
Were they all more successful in the 10-year? Is that why you're saying that, Keith? Or just because you feel like you could actually trade an account in the 10-year? Because I'm kind of with me, it was kind of both. It was like, well, I think I'm going to do better in the 10-year, and I can actually handle the risk in the 10-year, whereas in the 30-year, I would probably blow my account out in less than a month.
Heath said yes.
Oh, okay. So they were more successful in that.
Heath said and yes.
That's funny. Yeah, I've emailed John many times about things, and he's told me on more than one occasion that you should focus on the 10. It's not like...
Dominic said 10-year is a good value per tick, obviously too.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, yes, the 10-year is a good value per tick, but it isn't when you compare it to the 30-year. So it's like... But the other thing you got to keep in mind, we are in
a... For sure. 10-year allows to manage risk much better.
We've been in an unusual environment. I think I can show it here. Can I show it here? Yes. Okay. Here is the knob spread, right? I'm not showing last year, but you Dominic would see this said, well, last year too.
The risk is different.
How?
Dominic said yes.
So when the knob spread is going up, it tends to be better to trade the 30-year. And when the knob spread is going down, when we're flattening, it tends to be better to trade the 10-year. So like when you look at like over time, what is more common? Well, generally what I've noticed is that when things steepen, it happens really, really quick. And when things flatten, it happens very, very slowly. So generally speaking, over time, there's more edge in the 10-year, simply because the 10-year is more likely to follow the order flow. That makes sense? So, but it has just been, last year and maybe the first part of, 2016 and maybe the first part of 2017, where it was better to trade the 30, that we had this crazy market that just kept steepening. And that's why I think you saw a lot of traders, when you go to the forums, it seems like everybody's trading ZB. But I think over time, I think a year from now, I think you're going to see a lot more people trading the 10. Yeah. Okay. Sounds like that made sense. That's my theory anyways. I shouldn't present that as like a fact, but that's kind of why the way that I'm going on it. Obviously, the better thing to do would be to say, what is the spread today, and trade the one where the spread makes more sense, because, yesterday, you definitely made more money if you traded the 30 because we were steepening. Dominic, if you go to Futures.io, oh geez, 10,025. If you go to Futures.io, I uploaded my spread indicator into the NinjaTrader 8 downloads in the free section. And then I look up the spreads on the CME. So if I show you here, indicators, it's called spread. And then I just say, okay, so it's ZN over ZB and the ratio is 3 to 1. Then you can add a bunch of them. I'm sure something like that exists for Sierra. You just need to find a spread indicator. But it looks like NinjaTrader crashed on me. Yeah. Now, if you don't have the spread indicator, the thing to watch is just when you have a move, which one moves more? Like if we're flattening and we have a move up. Let me reset things because I know that the ZB is kind of going crazy, but if we have a move up and I see that the 10-year went up more, then that means we're flattening. And if we have a move up and the 30-year moved up more, then that means that we're steepening, and vice versa the other way. If we go down, so it's always which way the 10-year, when we're looking at the knob spread, because I doubt any of you are going to trade the 5-year, although I know we have one person, but the 5-year isn't as common just because at that point the tick value ratio isn't very good. but between the 10 and the 30, right? Basically the knob spread tends to follow the direction of the 10-year. So when the 10-year goes up, knob spread goes up, we're steepening. When the 10-year goes down, knob spread goes down, we're steepening. Yeah. So if you see the opposite of that, then you know that it's the opposite. Yeah, those guys love Jigsaw. Easy to see that, yeah. This is the whole point of being able to reset the DOM. Oh man, that was a vicious take there at 24.5. So here, right now, at this moment, yeah, okay, NinjaTrader is still hung. So let me kill it. And hopefully it saved all of my changes with the key and everything. Freaking NinjaTrader, it's pissing me off. There must be something wrong with one of my indicators that I've written, because I don't know, it's not doing it on all of my charts, just my Treasury charts are hanging. I'm not quite sure what it could possibly be wrong. Oops. I think I have something set up wrong here. Let's fix that first. Not that one. That one. And reconnect the demo to Jigsaw. For some reason, my demo accounts no longer allow 2 connections, but my main one does. That's what that was about. Okay. So that time we ticked down. We ticked down 1 tick in the 10-year. We ticked down 2 ticks in the 5-year. So what direction should the spread be based off of that, right? Well, remember, the spread tends to follow the shorter term maturity. So if the shorter term maturity is going down, that means the spread is going down. And when the spread goes down, that means we're flattening. So what do we see? Spread is flattening. Make more sense? So Seth, with the 10-year, do you still find that the other markets 35 are good clues for direction? Keith, yes, absolutely, because Let me unmute you guys here for a sec. Well, no, I'll keep reading it since you guys are so chatty today. Check out the battle in the ES. ES is pretty. So anyways, when you're trading the 10-year, you can kind of use the 30 as kind of a clue, because the 30 tends to be more speculative. Does that make sense? Like if 5,000 contracts go through a 24 half, that could all absorb in the 10-year. Meanwhile, in the 30-year, you could see, 1/10 of that, you could see like 500 go through, and that could push it up 2 ticks. So you can kind of use the ZB as kind of like not just a confirmation, but almost as a leading indicator. Like I can say, well, ZB already broke out, so that might mean that the 10-year is about to do it too. I agree. I've been seeing that to be exactly true the last few days. Yeah. 30 years is kind of more of a leading indicator. "30-year has given some clues before they show in the 10 or the 5-year. Yeah, and you'll also notice that, like, when we get stuck, like, let's say that we're at the top of a range in ZB, and there's just no interest in taking it through. Why not? You'll notice that very often there's an iceberg in one of the shorter term maturities stopping it. Yeah, last time I was looking at both, the 30 was off doing its own thing, and so was the 10. Well, yeah, so that's the one place where you can still get screwed up, is that if we're in a range-bound market and the limit orders are more dominant, then when you're looking at these numbers, they're not gonna tell you anything, In fact, I'm starting to feel like that's what's going on here now. They didn't try to push through 26, and so we've just been in a range, and that the volume is just kind of like all over the place. Like we had a move up there, but we didn't go up. Now we're attacking 24. It could break down through 24, even though. But you can see it. There's also spread trades. Like, very often you will notice that one of them is being held back by an iceberg or whatever, and you could buy it and take a tick out as it catches up to the others. But you have to be really fast, and I usually don't notice those fast enough. Okay, we were very range bound during that period, so it makes sense. See, exactly. When we're range bound, the way that I try and trade it is I put these little eyes on here. Anytime I see a price go switch between bid and offer multiple times, and that kind of sits down and says, okay, that's the price at which buyers and sellers agree is a fair price, and they're both okay with trading it. So if I'm going to take a position long, I don't want it to be above that point, because it's very likely to tick back down to there, and vice versa. And that's how I trade the range bound days, instead of trying to follow the market orders, because the market orders are often wrong in that situation. Well, geez, there's lots of volume going through here. Oh, let's see here. I didn't even check the YouTube because I was just looking in the Discord. BTC fell below the 50-day moving average, went up to retest, and failed to get above the 50-day. So yes, it's on the way to somewhere much lower. Yeah. And see, the thing that concerns me is that I don't want to trade it as it's going down, so I'm just going to ignore the 10-year here for a second. This move right here was a retail push. That was the day that Coinbase led price. So and I actually saw a couple of my friends on Facebook get in that day. So here, you know, below 1300 essentially is where they're in. When we get below 1300, that's when, you know, you really start to see people like literally puke, and that is what could push us down to this 8. Probably around this level is where you might start to see some support. The 10-year is great to start and to profit, but the vast majority of new traders want to be CL cowboys. Oh, for that person using Sierra, if they want the knob spread and they have CBOT data, they can just get the knob spread. So apparently there's an instrument on the CBOT that just tells you what the knob spread is. So maybe you could use that. There's also, if your platform supports it, you can look at the spreads on the exchange. I think my CQG would do it, but I don't think Rhythmic does. Let's check. I'll do it over here on this screen. Spread. Yeah, the Rhythmic won't show it to me. Anyways, to the comment from IHT about the everybody wants to be a CL cowboy. Yeah, exactly. Like the thing that people don't realize is that, okay, yes, CL has the most profit potential, but that also means it has the most risk. See, I think that people misunderstand why trading futures is good for day trading. So we think, well, it's because it has the most leverage. Well, it's not just that. It's the best risk to reward ratio. I can take a decent profit out every day in futures and take on very little risk so that I can be, you know, consistent, right? But when you go into a more volatile instrument like oil, at that point, you're kind of getting rid of some of that advantage. So unless you're really, really good with oil, you know, like oil is not something that I would want to be trading with a 30% win rate. Yeah. Because it's just going to, with a 30% win rate, your drawdown is just going to be too high. It's going to swing too much. And that is probably why the vast majority of funded traders at the combines tend to lose their combines at some point, because the vast majority of them are doing oil. Because oil is like the only instrument that you can easily get $3,000 in profit in 1 month. The 10-year, trading one contract, you're not gonna get 3,000 in a month. Unlikely. I think to do that in the 10-year, you would have to get 8 ticks a day on average. Eduardo Zoloff, are February futures being traded already? It depends on, are you talking about in Bitcoin? You know, that could be the case. Let's pull up, here's that 0118, and then let's add a tab to it and duplicate a new tab and BTC. I forget how to do this in NinjaTrader 8. It's a little difficult. I think I have to go in and change the things. I could also do it like oh, yeah, well, let's just do this the easy way. Let's just look on the CME website, okay? Okay, so there are a few trades in February, but still not a ton. I'm going to guess that until the rollover date that they're not going to trade the February, just because it's with it being cash settled. There's no reason to. In Treasuries, we tend to move at the beginning of the month because you could get called in to deliver once the contract month starts. But in a cash settled future that doesn't settle until the rollover day, they tend to just stay in it until the rollover day. I went through about 100 of those funded trader profiles, and the vast majority of RCL traders, I think I saw two treasury traders, but even they traded the 30-year, never saw a 10-year trader. Yep, that was I did the exact same thing, and I only saw 2 or 3. And it's odd because one of the things that I started was John did a webinar where he talked about which product to trade, and his whole thing was basically, hey, if you're doing a combine, you should do the 30-year, or you should trade treasuries instead of oil, was basically his point. And it's true and it's not true, because I think that yes, you can be more consistent in treasuries, ergo it would be better to do the combine on treasuries, but even in the 30-year, it's probably likely to take you 2 months to hit the profit target. So then maybe you do the smaller combine, but everybody that we've seen do the smaller combine just tends to hit the limit. Now, maybe that was because of the time that we chose, because when we were doing that, I think 2 or 3 of us did that, and it was like November, and we were really range bound. I think maybe there's a couple of people that if they traded to 30 and they were doing the smaller combine, they would have hit it. So maybe that's the trick, is you just need to do the smaller combine, or you just need to swing larger. Take 4 ticks a day on 2 contracts and be done. And I don't know if any of us have tried that. Oh, you know what? I never activated my robot. So I wonder if it would have taken a trade. Because I'm hoping that the robot will be able to do it. Because in backtesting, it could do it. In backtesting, it would have made $5,000 in the 30-year in December. But I doubt that its real performance comes anywhere close to that. So Seth, what's your opinion trading the 10 with a 2K account? What are you going to get before you fund your account? Oh, so the way that I'm doing this right now is I want to see essentially what my 3-month drawdown is. So the goal is that at the end of 3 months, I am at least break even. At the moment, December, I made 500. This month, I had a bad day at the beginning of the month, and we've crawled out of that now. So we're essentially at break even for January. So we can stay above here, and then we get in February. And by that point, you know, I've been putting some money away, and some of the money that I've been putting away, I've been putting into the crypto markets so that I could just pull that out. And now that I have an account at Coinbase, I just confirmed it yesterday, I could do that as well. And there's the tax. But so I want to have essentially the minimum drawdown times like 3 or 4. So I'm going to be trading with like a 2K account. Yeah. So there's only 500 in the account right now. And yeah, I mean, if that works out, it makes a lot more sense at that point, right? Like that's kind of the experiment. Is I want to be able to turn around and say, hey, stop wasting your money on combines. Just put 2K into an account and trade the 10-year, and that will get you so much farther. Or, you know, trade sim until you're break even and then go into the 10-year or something like that. Because yeah, it just seems like the risk parameters for the combine are way too I don't want to say strict, but it's just like I think that a lot of these really great traders, okay, like the no BS guy, I'm not entirely sure that his strategy would pass the combine. I mean, I've never seen his stats or anything, but I think that really great traders don't necessarily pass those parameters. And I think that what's happened is we've kind of all fooled ourselves into thinking that the combine parameters are like, well, to really be successful in trading, you would need to be hitting those kind of numbers anyways. And what I've realized is that's not true. Because what's really going to happen is you're going to break even for a really, really long time, and then you're just going to have a good month at one point. And those aren't going to happen all the time. Those aren't going to happen every month, right? Those are going to happen maybe once a year. Like, dude, a lot of the interviews that I hear on like Anthony Crudele's show, and there's this other guy, the Talk with Traders show, so many of them say I make my year in like one day, right? So if you're running the combine and you're a really good trader, there's a good chance that you could just be break even until that 1 month where you hit it hard and get lucky. That's ultimately so the problem isn't even necessarily the parameters, it's the time frame. The number of months that you would need to put into combines to actually pass it doesn't justify the reward that you get, because if on average it would take you 4 months to do it, then you might as well have put that 4 months. That would have been $2,000 essentially. Well, actually it wouldn't be $2,000, right? Because the combine is $150. So it would be $600, but you could at least open an account at that point, right? Well, they're making a buy push again. I don't know. Let's see what they offer up when they take out 25 even here. Yeah, you know, I remember John Bottomley talking about when he started, he went into a room and he had a guy, and this guy basically taught everybody to trade the 10-year. And they had a specific method for trading the 10-year. I remember John telling me what it was, but I don't remember what it was. but in retrospect, it sounded kind of dumb. But at the time, it was working really, really well. And what happened was everybody in the room was trading this one specific strategy that he had taught. And then the bad period for that strategy came along and everybody got blown out and the room disappeared. But there was a time where the 10-year was the way for the beginner trader. And I think that we should move back to that. Okay, I got filled. They put 1100 up. Reset everything. Cool. And thank you for everybody that switched over to the Twitch. That should help a little bit because I want to find new people that don't know anything about trading. So all about building a community here. Any more people that we can pull in, I think, is good. Okay, well, they put up a pretty good offer. Let me show you this pattern in ZB. This is like one of my least favorite patterns in ZB. You see that? 1, 2, 3, then up 2, 1, 2, 3. But when it went up, it did a gap. They took 2 ticks without any back ticks. Makes it volatile. Okay, so good uptick. Okay, I'm getting some decent back ticking now. Maybe we might actually push higher. HTV network, but Twitch is all about gaming and kids that don't have money. Well, but I mean, that's the thing though, is kids can also afford to take on more risk, right? When you're like 30 and you're married, even $600 can be a lot. But when you're a kid, kids blow that much. Most of those Twitch guys blew that much money just on their system. So I certainly think that there's a lot of them that if they were interested in it, they could do it. Plus, trading is kind of like a game, right? When I started doing this, I thought about just doing it on Twitch, but then I said no because I want to make just regular videos too, and I know that I'll do better on YouTube. See, Tino Trader knows what I'm talking about. Man, some of those guys put so much money into those PCs, it's ridiculous. Like if you go into I went into like the Build a PC subreddit, and there was threads that were like, okay, what do I need to do to play Overwatch and stream? Like that's the popular thing right now, right? And they're like, well, you're gonna need 2 GeForce GTX 1080s, and okay, that's $1,000. Just that, right? They're over $1,000 now with Ethereum. So yeah, they spend money on that. And then, when you add in all of the water cooling and stuff like that, water cooling's very expensive. Yeah, they put money into those machines. Oh, Tino Trader, wish I would have started trading when I lived with my mom. Yeah, same here. I wish I had started trading when I was single. I wish that I had just funded a 10-year account and I would already be trading. Now it's like, because back then putting away that much money a month was easy. Now that there's kids, it's a different story. now that it's kids, I have to like plan out every tiny little purchase. It's like if you spend more money on groceries than I expected, it's a problem. Not that, not that it's like things are tight or anything. It's just like I have to meticulously plan it now in order for all of the dates and everything to come up correctly. No bills, all play money, the good old days. Yeah, well, when I was single, um, I was paying, I think my mortgage was like $1,200 or something like that, and I was renting out 2 rooms for $500 each. So I was basically paying nothing on my mortgage, and I didn't, spend that much money on anything else. So I literally had thousands left over. And what happened was I literally saved all of it up for, because that went on for about 6 months. I saved all of it up, and then I spent all of it on a ring and the wedding. So I'm kind of go back and I'm like, well, could have started a trading account with that. And I don't think I'll ever have quite that much money saved up ever again. or putting it into cryptocurrencies, but I had not found this edge in cryptocurrencies at that point, so there's no way I would have done that. Come on. It's looking stronger. I'm actually thinking that some of that absorption at 25.5 was profit taking. There's no longer a big order at 26 even anymore. Let's turn you guys back on in this channel. Yeah. Exactly what I did when I was single. CSCO profits paid for my wife's engagement ring. Yep. You know what though? Let me tell you what, guys. Just my personal opinion. Don't go light on the ring. The ring is like a an insurance policy, right? My wife is a flight attendant, and she says she gets compliments on the rings like every day. Like they see that and they're like, "Yep, that's a pretty nice ring. I don't stand a chance." I'm telling you, don't go light on the ring. It matters. The ring has utility. A lot of people think, "Oh, it's just pretty. It's a waste of money." No, it's not. Every dollar spent on that is worth it. It will pay you dividends.
Dominic said agree.
Man, come on. I feel like we're seeing the amount of buying that we should, but I also feel like that it shouldn't be encountering as much resistance as it is.
Dominic said, we taking this thing higher?
I hope so. I mean, in ZB, there definitely was some buying volume, right? Right here. And you can kind of see it here too, where they kind of stopped it down back at 24 or so. The auction direction is up, but I feel like we should hit
and
the
UB moving
VWAP.
together. Almost to WAP.
I think we need to see a little bit more support in the 5-year if we're going to make it there. Nope. Man.
Heath said yep, some pretty good buying. But, sellers starting to come in a bit now. Dominic said total order volume seems opposite in 5-year vs the 10 and 30-year.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, you are seeing a little bit of a turnaround here in the 5-year as well. But it seems like that the other two started doing it earlier, and the 5-year is only now just starting to go, well, maybe I'll go along with it too. Yeah, see, I definitely see what Keith is seeing too, where we are seeing some selling coming in, even though it looks like some strong buying too. Okay, but they held 5,000 there now at 25.5, which is, I think, a pretty big deal. Because that means that they've moved their icebergs up.
Heath said the 30 feels like the 10 today.
Right. It's slow. Okay, well, there they back to 26.5. I'm still seeing a lot of level 2 changes. So there's still a lot of interest. Okay. Another good bid. BCH is mooning, is it? Am I missing it? Oh, hell yes, it is. Look at that. Oh, come here. I have to make it wider. Yeah, I do it like this. Now it's coming up. It's good. I'm happy.
Heath said woo. Absorption like crazy.
So now to the view up for sure. $27 was a pivot. 27 was a pivot and 85 was a pivot. So now the 5 years coming along.
Awidal said UBZBZN all at res.
All at resistance. Yeah.
Awidal said short-term resistance, that is.
So I'm going to put my order up here just as one tick through the VWAP.
Awidal said if ES breaks though pit VWAP, I can see them reversing here.
If ES goes down, you think we'll go down? Well, we've been going up here. And the E-mini has been going up too. That's curious.
Awidal said obviously no commitment yet at 27 in ZN.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Awidal said no, if I implied that, I did not mean to.
Okay, there we go.
Awidal said got residential in ZB at 12.
Oh, Awaddle's saying no. If I implied that, I did not mean to. When I asked her, do you think that the E-mini will be positively correlated again today? Okay. It does look like a couple of people took profits at 27. Like that little zigzag. Okay. It was a pretty good tick up, I'd say. One thing that I've noticed is really positive is when they all tick up at the same time. Yeah, that BC Edge long is looking good at the moment, but it's not quite out of the park still. We really need to get above like 28 before I'm like, okay, yeah, it's on. Right now, it's still kind of, when it does that, get rid of that. You know, like maybe you could potentially redraw this line to be like, you know, starting here, you know, something like that. It's not outside of deviation ranges yet. I want to see a little bit more of an uptick in volume. I'd really like to see like a gradual rise in volume and really picking up.
Alligator said, I guess today rise in yield was one of the catalyst for selling, so could be and correlated.
Yep, exactly. Rise in yields is bad for equities. And we're starting to get to a point where it concerns them, because a rise in yields that quickly is bad. Okay. All right, I just got out at +4.
Alligator said 275 pivot.
You're gonna let it get through the VWAP and maybe continue a little bit before I want to take another long.
Alligator said, fighting there, Euro bonds show the upside, above WAP. Cedric said 16.5k traded at 180 in ZF and only 161 hit 182.
Yeah.
Bacon?
Oh yes, please, thank you.
This one's mine. Yeah.
Thanks. Some nice crispy bacon. No, it's not super crispy. Or it's not that crispy.
Dominic said, so +4 earns me bacon? Smiling face with open mouth.
+4 earns me bacon. that it ticked down there when it ticked down 26.5 and they put 1600 up. I was like, oh crap, no, now I'm not gonna get filled. Oh wait, I already got out. There we go. Good bacon. Well, we've been sitting here for a while, but we did drop one tick down, which doesn't mean much. Could still go through. I feel good about getting out at 27 though, instead of trying to get the 28. That 2 more ticks, that obviously wasn't going to happen. $115.75. I'm not quite sure which one you're talking about, Dominic. Or maybe you're just talking about this big order here that showed up. When that show up about when we got up to this level. Well, I think that order could be somebody. I mean, the fact that it's 1 tick above the low kind of makes me think that somebody firmly believes that, okay, yeah, he's talking about the big order. Don't call it volume, call it liquidity. Limit orders is liquidity. Yeah, that big buy down at 157. The fact that it's 1 tick above the high makes me think that maybe somebody believes that move up, it firmly established the downtrend being over, and that if it does get back down there, they want to buy it. Right. It could, on the other hand, it could also mean that somebody went short here and is expecting a VWAP play, but they don't want to push their luck on trying to get a new low. So they're going to take it off 1 tick before the low. Either way, I'd say it's bullish for like the overall day trend, but I don't know if it's bullish for the next swing. It's a little curious that they put it up right at that one spot. You can see it when they put it on here in the Vista chart. And when it happened, I don't know. The thing that I find interesting about it is that this is supposed to tell you overall buys versus overall sells. And it should be saying, you know, these blues should be like, it should be all blue here. But it's saying that that order got put on, that corresponding orders up here got put on. I think this goes in the direction of which there's less, so it is a little bit, right? Because there's 25.0 and there's 21.7 here. So it's red, it's saying we're more likely to go up. Is what I think it means. But I think he colors it red because the price tends to move towards the liquidity. That makes sense? Like people tend to use market orders to enter and limit orders to exit. I almost always use a limit order to exit, right? This right here is pulling. I don't know. I don't completely understand these things. I would just only ever notice it when there's like a really clear switch, which doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while you'll see it go like from like big red ones to all of a sudden big blue ones. Then you know that the trend changed. Hmm. Yeah, Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash are like the only things up today. Nope, we just had crude oil inventories negative 4.9 versus negative 3.9. Import prices were really bad though. I didn't notice that number. That might have been why we sold off a little bit at 6:30. Yeah. Not a ton though. And then at 8 o'clock we took off after that news. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really pay too much attention to it because they never pulled. The Ripple subreddit is in denial at the moment, I think. They're down 50% now and they're all like, everything's cool guys, this is just normal. No. Even in the crypto markets, if you're holding a coin that just declined 50%, you made a mistake. You should have sold. I don't believe in the hold forever thing. You've got to have a stop loss somewhere. Sorry. 50% is just ridiculous. We'll lose half your investment. You're totally okay with it. Nah. From the C coin developers, they're trying to get a deal about listing Sia coin on Binance, and they say if Binance tries to strike an unfavorable or slimy deal, I likely won't be able to talk about it because they want me to sign an NDA. I wanted to let the community know before I agreed to silence that if we end up in a disagreement with Binance, I won't likely be able to tell anyone why. That's not too inspiring, is it? Treasury traders brace for the end of 3-decade bull market. Yep. So with the 3-decade bull market,
Carl, the bears are twitching, right? And we saw it yesterday, and now we're seeing the same.
Close that. I don't want Bloomberg on my feed. They might flag it or something. One of the questions I have, because it seems to me like, especially John Grady from WBS Trading, the whole time he's been trading, the treasuries have been in a bull market, and the treasuries have had the volume and stuff. And I'm wondering if treasuries are no longer in a bull market, will treasuries remain an attractive trade? Or will we go into a period where there's just like super crappy liquidity, super crappy volume, or, you know, volatility, and just not as many opportunities? Because there were certainly more opportunities in 2016 than there was in 2017, yeah? I wonder. And then maybe we all have to become e-mini traders. Wouldn't that be fun?
Dominic said, of course, Seth, that happens in every market, no?
Yeah, I would tend to think that when you're in a bear, like, obviously on the way down, can be a lot of profit. But then when you're at the bottom of a bear market, or you're in like a long-term bear, I mean, that's the thing, is like, when you have a market that goes down and then it just kind of stays down there for a long time, I think a lot of people lose interest, right? It's hard to say, because you almost never see that in equities, for instance, right? Even the Chinese are slowing or halting purchase of treasuries. Sentiment was already fragile earlier Wednesday ahead of an issue of 10-year notes by the Treasury and a glut supplied from Europe. When is the I forget when the auction is at again. 11. So I think what is going to happen is I'm going to stop streaming in about 30 minutes. So at about 11:15 Eastern time. And then, 90 minutes later, I'll start it about 10 minutes before the bond auction, because I get to do some normal work. And then, I might not even be able to trade that, because we're supposed to, hold on a second, as 1:30, 11, no, so I'll be able to stream for, maybe 30 minutes to an hour after the bond auction, and then I'm going to have to stop it again. That's what we'll do. What would happen if the Chinese started selling their bonds? That would be bad. Comments from billionaire fund manager Bill Gross caused some jitters on Tuesday after he said bonds have entered a bear market. Double Line Capital Chief Investment Officer Jeffrey Gunlatch said markets have not priced in shrinking central bank balance sheets, but it might not be time to panic yet. There is still not too much money looking for carry and moving out the yield curve. Okay, so here's a question. What are the options market telling us? CME Group. I hate how when I move it over here, it always gets smaller. Okay. Trading. Interest rates. FedWatch. Open interest heat map. Select product. US rates. 10-year. Okay. Come on. Show me way more than that. Okay. So almost all of the strikes are still way back up at 124. So that doesn't necessarily tell us much. What about the target rate? Target. So the rate right now is already 125.50, right? So they're saying no change in January. 60% chance that they will change it in March. So that's one rate at 150, 175. Okay. Here they're starting to say maybe a 50-50 chance that they have two by June. In August. Okay, now they're starting to say in September 25% chance that they have a third one. %30 chance. So there's a 30% chance that we're going to have 3 rate hikes this year. And there's already some guys in the equities that are saying if we have 3 rate hikes, that'd be bad. So he might be right that even though we're having a big push here, there is a little bit of a floor beneath us. $62.50, so that makes us profitable on the month. Super happy about that. Well, profitable on the month if you only count the, I think if we only count that one account, let's look. Only January. Only ZN. Oh no. Wait a second. I don't know if it was sending my trades. Because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this one doesn't tell me the amount that's in there either. Then neither would Jigsaw would it counts. Yeah. Just this, nope. Now I have to open up a rhythmic. Hold on. I'm gonna have to change it to this for a second because I might have to log in. Okay. Now if I can just remember. Okay, it says 390. I forget where I want to look. There's like so many different windows. Obviously, the order book is and drip orders aren't going to tell me anything. Trader dashboard. Nope. Here, I'm just going to do this over here. Order history. Maybe. And then it'll just tell me the ones for that day. Positions. No, they don't have the max allowable loss showing on here. Well, that sucks. I can't actually really see where I'm at now because it doesn't look like, it looks like because I got logged out by Jigsaw that it doesn't show any trades for today. I think it's showing that, you know, I'm a little bit up on the month. I just don't know where it tells me, oops. Do it like that. Okay. So it tells me I'm at 390. And I think that 390 was like when you took all of my trades. Okay, let's do it like this. December, now, my running P&L, and we say, how many trades have I actually taken? 83. 83 trades. 83 times 3, 249. So 453 minus that. That's 204. I guess my trades are a little bit less than $3. What would this be? Minus 390. 63. That's not right either. I don't know how much is charging me for commissions. I might have to go and look at what the simulator does because I think it's different than the live account. Let's pop back in here. I don't know. The jigsaw says that based if we look at January, I'm just below break even, and it doesn't show any of the trades the trade that I made today. Based on the trade that I made today, it should have me a positive 15. But then when you add in number of trades and stuff, it's negative. But so still basically at break even. So we're doing okay. Well, look at that in ZF. I have not seen one of those in ZF in a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Well, and if it was ZN, then the probability is that it would keep going. But in ZF, I don't know if it's even significant. Well, look at that. Bitcoin actually got above its VWAP now. What's going on here? Let's look. Just a tiny little reprieve, but nothing too exciting. Let's look at it at a smaller time frame. Yep, I see. Oops. Okay. That is a pretty bullish bounce there. And you can see it on this chart too. And then Bitfinex. Where's the Bitcoin Cash? Well, that buy just literally came out of nowhere. Interesting. And Ethereum? No, I don't necessarily like that chart. But it doesn't necessarily mean anything either. Let's look at some other ones. I want to look at the KU coin. So there's KU coin versus Bitcoin Cash is stable. So I get a little concerned if that starts going up, because then that means I should have bought KU coin. Is there anything else positive today? Neo Ethereum Classic. I'm surprised that Ethereum Classic is still like a top 18. Like, why would you use Ethereum Classic as opposed to the main Ethereum at this point? And C coin's fallen still quite a bit. Now it's 16% today. Sure glad I sold at that top. Yeah, CKU coin is going up, but so is Bitcoin Cash. What about Verge? Verge kind of had a peak and then now is back down. That peak probably being from Wraith being released. Yeah, that's about the right time. And they took profits. So where is it? I have almost 50 Verge now. How did that work? How does that work? Where are we at? Okay, so yesterday I had 35. So I made 15 times 0.17 should be about $2. Yeah, that's right. I also mined Monero, but it didn't give me any payouts. I don't even think that that pool has found a block. I haven't found a block for 9 days. I don't know if I'm in the right pool. Well, it kind of feels like things really died down there after that sell, didn't they? So we might just be range bound until the auction. Now, normally the auction we buy afterwards, right? Oh, cool. Sia Stats now shows a countdown to the Sia hard fork, block 139. There's that buy-in again. It was doing the same thing as before too, where well, they have to backtick a lot to hold the price. Well, I wouldn't be taking a trade until we're out of this zipper and ZF. How long has it been stuck there for? Oh, actually they did tick up.
Heath said, I wish every day was like today.
How much have you made, Keith? Did you take a couple? Evaded the extremes.
Heath said took a few. Playing around with the 10Y today too. Alligator said oh no for pity's sake, it's so boring smiling face with open mouth.
Alligator is being sarcastic because I said, oh, I'm going to move over to the 10-year back in December. And Alligator decided to join me, and so he's been trading the 10-year too. So now
plus 7 in ZB. Plus 10 in ZN. LOL, wow. But I was trading 10 cars in ZN, so only one tick, haha.
Hey, it's still, you know what? If you can pick that one tick out 80% of the time, every day, then just do that. Like, really. See, when you think about it, if you're trading a 10 lot for one tick, and you have a stop loss set at
Heath
like
said,
2 ticks.
Sorry, Alligator, I love boring smiling face with open mouth.
And let's just assume that you have like a, you know, you could get 1 tick slippage. So ultimately you're risking 3 ticks, right? That's the same risk as if you had, well, let's not say 10 lots, let's say 4 lots, okay? that's the same loss. That's the same risk as if you said, 16 ticks or whatever. Does that make sense? I mean, in one case, you're taking more risk by having more contracts, and in the other one, you're taking on more risk by having a deeper stop. So as long as that trade has a good historical probability, it's... I actually had a number of trades that were really good one-tick trades that had good probabilities, but they didn't happen enough to really make money. What would you have to do? So normally we risk 4 or make 4. So I guess you could afford to do 2 to 4. Depending on how much slippage you expect to get.
ETH said good signal in UB at 03 that I missed.
Oh yeah, so by the way, if you haven't already followed me on Twitch, really helps if we get there. So the goals here are at least 3 viewers whenever we stream on Twitch and 50 followers. So we have 4 followers at the moment. Those are the goals. I also, if you've ever thought about streaming your own stuff, I encourage it. Because we can set up this thing so like auto hosting. So like if I'm not trading and you are, you'll automatically show up on my channel, which I think is really cool. Because we could like create like a trading network on Twitch. Yeah. Yep. So I was reading this really great thread on Reddit. Here, I'm going to put it in the crypto channel. I've made over 500K in crypto. Here are some good advice. And he says a lot of stuff that I figure most of our traders would already know, but something that he says that I really like is recognize that lots of people are also losing money. Right now, there is a confirmation bias happening where people who get quick gains go out and brag to all their friends all over social media, leading to this illusion that making money trading crypto
is a
surefire way to make money. That dopamine fix you get from seeing the position double will make you feel like a genius, and it's human nature to want to advertise it. What you forget is that those who lose money keep quiet about it and don't advertise their failure. So true. Everyone is a genius in a bull market.
ETH said 10-year had a good signal at 25. ETH said.
Yeah. Well, actually, when we were at 25, remember I was saying, well, you know, do you think it'll go back up here? But then I was like, well, maybe it'll be quiet until the auction. So I'm actually probably going to, I need to get off here in about 4 minutes
Cedric
anyways.
said winking face.
So in chat, especially you guys on YouTube or Twitch, you have any questions, put them into the chat now so I can answer them before I go. And of course, if you don't watch regularly, we do this every morning.
Cedric smiling face with open mouth.
Every morning at 8:15 Eastern time about is when I start streaming. Oh, Rackley, I forgot Steam. Maybe I just need you to do it for me. And you can make all of the money from this Steam submissions. By PTCZ, I swear to God, this is a good coin. Okay, that you can buy on the stock exchange. Well, I'll put that on my list. I see so many coins put in the channel, and I try to research them all, but sometimes I miss some of them. There's just way too many things to look at, though, so it's, yeah. Yeah, it sucks that Jigsaw didn't catch that trade. Oh well. So just remember that my stats for January, what it says on the dashboard, if you follow me. By the way, you can like make a share request. Let's see here. If you just put in, if you have Jigsaw, you go to share request and you just put Speculator Seth as the member name. You can request sharing and I'll give it to you. And I share them anyways, so you can go on the leaderboard and you can look at him. But just keep in mind, if you're looking at that I'm 2 ticks higher than that. That 2 ticks matters, okay? I'll try if you forget. I was with an appointment though, just got back. Yeah. I mean, it's I think it's crazy that man, what's his name? It has something to do with bio stuff. Sludge made like $100 off of Steam posts. That's really cool. So we definitely need to invest a little bit more into that. So if you don't have an account at Steemit, go make one. make sure you save the wallet, because it generates a key when you register, and that's basically your password. So make sure you save that somewhere, and then start upvoting people. And you can go, again, I put Speculator Seth everywhere, so you can go to Steemit/Speculator Seth and follow me, and I'll probably recognize you, so I'll follow you back. And if I don't, just yell at me in chat. I showed one of my social workers help step by step where to buy crypto. When she asked what are good options to buy, I said throw a dart, it will make you money. Oh man. Oh, Rackley's shorting Ethereum today? Why do you think you tell me in chat, because I gotta get going, but I would like to know what your logic is in shorting Ethereum, because it's like one of the only things up, Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash. Anyways, so I got 5 minutes here, so I will see you just before the auction.
Said, I am wondering if getting